What is going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Forward Thinking Founders. I am very grateful to have your attention, at least for the next 15 minutes of this episode. Forward Thinking Founders is a podcast where I interview pre-seed and seed stage founders about their products, what they want to build into the world, and why. We dive into how they spend their time, what's their vision, what's their origin stories, all these things, so you can learn all about what's coming tomorrow. Because these companies haven't hit critical scale yet. Most of them haven't hit product market fit. These are just early stage companies, and the big question is, what can this be? And in this podcast, we bring that out. So with that, I really hope you enjoy your time listening to today's episode. And I've already done 200 plus, so if you like this one, listen to some of the other ones, like with Amadi Kund, Austin Allred, Leah Culver. We have great interviews, so check it out, enjoy the repository, and for now, let's get into today's episode. Here we go. All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forward Thinking Founders, where we talk to founders about their companies, their visions for the future, and how the two collide. Today, I'm very excited to be talking to Evalyn Oloo, who's a co-founder of Manyactive. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Fantastic, Matt. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. I'm looking forward to learning more about what you are working on. For people that haven't heard of your company, what are you working on? What is Manyactive?
I've had to refine the elevator pitch for quite a while, so I'm going to go with that. So Manyactive increases engagement in fitness interventions by organizations to reduce Medicare. So in a nutshell, what that means then is that we provide a platform where employers will get their teams engaged in fitness so that they're more active, so that the Medicare expense is reduced.
So walk me through a little bit about, it could be the experience of a company, or it could be the experience of an individual. Let's actually start with a company. Let's say I have a company and I hear about Manyactive and I think that this could be useful for my team members or my workers. Can you kind of walk me through how I would kind of engage with Manyactive and what that looks like?
Okay, so if you are an employer, you sign up on our website and you join the free tier first. And what you do is start a challenge. And for you to start a challenge, you'll need to import your team members. So let's say like March, you have 10 team members or so, you import them or you just invite them through email. Then once you do that, you start a challenge. And basically a challenge is saying, this week we have a 10,000 step challenge. And the first person to hit 10,000 steps, they're getting, Netflix voucher or something like that. So then what happens is that your team members, they get a notification, an email at this point that they've been included in this challenge, and they download the app. Once they download the app, then they join the challenge and they can see how the other team members are doing. So, in real time, they can see this is how much steps Eva has, this is how much steps team has, and that is real time throughout the day. And what makes this different from like Strava or Pacer for teams, which are in the same space, is that for Manyactive, then the employer has a lot of leeway in terms of the things that they can do, the rewards that they can give. So in terms of messaging, in terms of incentives, in terms of just engaging with them in a community, that's what makes us different. So then the employer will join a challenge. They'll be able to receive these messages. They'll be able to see other team members' activities real time, and just makes it all fun. So for example, if I'm working from home and I'm sitting the whole day, I'm not incentivized to stand, walk around, go for a walk, run, or something like that. I have my coffee, my tea, everything here. But if I know that I'm in a challenge with other of my colleagues and everybody can see how much I'm moving throughout the day, then I'm incentivized to, maybe go, get my water regularly from a cup instead of just sitting down. I'm incentivized to maybe take a walk and all this, because everybody can see how I'm performing. So in that way, then, there's direct benefits to my health, and for my employer, then it means that, they'll pay less Medicare. So that's it.
So walk me through a little bit about the origin story here. I mean, like this is a great idea. How'd you come up with it, and kind of how'd you get started with Manyactive?
My background is in psychology, and I've worked in mental health extensively in UK for a while before I came back to Africa, to Kenya specifically, to work in wellness. And when I came back, I was going to do two things. I was going to work in mental health, and I was going to work in fitness. And back in 2016, mental health was not mature yet in this market. So then I had fitness. And so I worked with various organizations like Coca-Cola, World Bank, and, a myriad of other organizations in wellness. And so what that meant in terms of wellness fitness, this is setting up gyms in their office spaces. This is organizing for various classes for them to happen, within their premises. This is negotiating individual gyms with organizations. And so I thought to myself, how can I make this scale? And at the onset of COVID, early 2020, I said, okay, this is a good opportunity now to start working on this full time. And so I went in full time, and we had the first iteration in September. We launched that, and we had about 500 users, and we learned from that. And from there now came the second iteration, which now is employer-based. The initial one was more user-based, and you could use it as an Uber for fitness, find like gyms around you, more like ClassPass. But then when we went back and read the data, what the data was saying, because the biggest problem we had is that we were having very few daily active users. So like if Evalyn look at the app today and books a gym, maybe Eva will look at the app next week again if they want to book the gym. In between, they have nothing to do on the app. So then we say, what can make people stay on the app and really engage? So we thought, okay, so yes, they can book the gyms and classes and all those things in the app, but then what about if there's something else that they're doing on the app that is, makes them go on their app regularly to see? That's when we included now the challenges, which is now employer based, and then also a bit of mental health, where they record their moods, so they can see how when they engage on fitness activities that affects their moods, and by extension their mental health there.
And I'm curious, as you kind of build this this company and this product, what do you see as the big vision here? If you were to zoom out, 5, 10, 15 years into the future, what does Manyactive look like then when kind of you accomplish everything that you're going to build?
Matt, tell you what, sometimes my bold vision scares me to death. So I have this thing in my head that at some point in Africa, when you see people at the bus stop on their phone, they won't be on WhatsApp. They will be on Manyactive checking how their, aunt or how their friend or their, classmate or something is doing on a challenge they're on. So, I envision a world where aside from TikTok challenges, like people will be in fitness challenges, and people will be forced to not be sedentary because they're in a challenge. And, envision a world where people will be betting and saying, this week I'll beat you to this month I'm going to beat you, this year we're going to Kilimanjaro and we have to do 80,000 steps for us to prepare. And, I see this coming, as soon as 2020, before 2025. And actually, in hindsight, so people will be engaging in these challenges because first they want to compete with their friends, they want to beat their friends to it, or maybe because of the rewards that they're going to get from them. But by doing that, they're actually getting healthier. So while I would say, okay, I want to beat Matt this week for the 20,000 steps because I want to win this voucher, by doing that 20,000 step, I've actually really just increased my metabolism, which means I'm in better health. So, as people get into these challenges and make it a norm, people will be essentially very healthy. And I'm glad that we are contributing to Vision 2030, which is a wellness for everybody, good health for everybody.
And in order to make this happen and kind of bring it to life, you'll need some help, right? It takes a village to make a startup work. So my question for you is, how can the forward-thinking founders community help? Are you hiring? Are you raising money, looking for companies or users? How can we assist?
Yeah, so in two ways. First is we're trying to build a community for fast users. And if we can get the community just engaged in the app, try out the challenges and, give us feedback, that's going to be invaluable. Also, we are at the point of forging strategic partnerships really majorly in Nairobi and Lagos at the moment. Let's focus on these markets, then we can extend to other markets across Africa. And of course, warm interest from like you and any other investor who might be listening who is African focused, because I've talked to a lot of a lot of investors, and they say, oh yeah, this is really, really good, but yeah, Africa is outside our mandate, especially something to do with wellness, because right now what's trendy in Africa is fintech, and all the money is going into fintech. So you find that if you're in another category, then this is not your buzz moment. So yeah, it becomes a bit difficult, but yeah, hopefully we'll get there, and I'm very bullish about it. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess for my last question, if someone wanted to learn more about what you're doing and kind of find you online, do you have a website, social media present, an email address? How can someone learn more about Manyactive?
So website is www.manyactive.com. So that is like Manyactive, one word. And Twitter, Manyactive Up, Facebook, Manyactive Up. And yeah, you can reach me directly at evelyn@manyactive.co.ke.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you, Matt.